Attention, Commanders Nation! Our head coach just dropped a bombshell. He's owning up to the mistake. That wrecked our star quarterback. Season over. Not so fast. As we speak, the front office is working behind the scenes. Negotiating with rival teams. Key veterans could be out today. Who's paying the price? But that's not even the craziest part. You know what position is on fire right now? We're chasing an emergency quarterback, and a familiar face is in the crosshairs. This is urgent. The deadline is today. If they don't act, we lose the one shot that could save our season. Are we giving up? Prove we're not. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and don't you dare click away. I can't believe what I just saw. Dan Quinn, the guy who brought hope back to this franchise after years of being stuck in the mud, just stood in front of the cameras and took full responsibility for what might be the end of our season. And let me tell you something, Commanders fans. This is historic, but not in the way we wanted. Sunday night, under the bright lights of primetime, with the whole country watching, we watched our season fall apart piece by piece. The Seahawks ran us over, 38-14, but that's not even half the story. In the fourth quarter, down by 31 points, Jaden Daniels was still out there. And you know what happened? Our franchise quarterback, the offensive rookie of the year 2024, the future of this team, tried to scramble into the end zone and got tackled by Drake Thomas in a way that made the whole stadium go dead silent. Jaden's elbow bent at an angle I don't even want to describe. Full dislocation. And as they helped him off the field, we all knew what it meant. This season, the one that started with so much promise after last year's divisional round run, just hit rock bottom. But here's what really has me heated. In Monday's press conference, Quinn didn't dodge. He didn't throw anyone under the bus. He straight up said, and I quote, "I get it. I've been thinking about it nonstop, and man, I messed up. That's 100% on me." Do you understand how big that is? An NFL head coach publicly admitting he made a mistake that might have ended his team's season. That doesn't happen every day. And I gotta ask, is taking the blame enough? Or do we need to see real consequences? Because let's be real, Jaden had already been dealing with injuries all season. A knee issue early on, then a hamstring problem that kept him out. And this was literally his first game back. And Quinn left him in there, in the fourth quarter, in a game that was already long gone. I'm telling you this, I don't care how much you respect the game. I don't care about competing to the end. There comes a point where you protect your most valuable player. That point was when we were down by 24 in the third quarter. But no, Quinn kept him in. And now we're staring at the real possibility that Jaden's done for the year. And you know what's even crazier? Quinn also talked about the fans. Said they created an amazing atmosphere and didn't get rewarded for it. He admitted there's a lot of work to do to get back to the standard we set last year. But I ask you this, how are we supposed to get back to that standard without our franchise quarterback? Look, I respect Dan Quinn. He pulled us out of the hole we were in. Took us to the playoffs last year when nobody believed in us. But this one decision to leave Jaden in that game might define his legacy in Washington. And not in a good way. We're now 3-6 on the season, sitting third in the NFC East. And our star quarterback might be out for the rest of the year. The Cowboys are laughing at us. The Eagles are probably popping champagne. And the Giants, who've been a mess all year, suddenly don't look so bad compared to us. But do you think this is the end? Do you think we're just gonna roll over? Because I'm telling you right now, Adam Peters is not that kind of general manager. And that brings us to the next story that's about to shake everything you thought you knew about this team. If that shocked you, wait till you hear this. While Dan Quinn is taking the heat for Jaden's injury, Adam Peters is out here playing chess like his job's on the line. And according to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, the Commanders are officially in sell mode. You'd be crazy to think we just sit on our hands. Peters has made it clear he's open to dealing multiple players. And the first names out there are Andrew Wiley and Nick Allegretti. And let me tell you why this makes total sense. These two came to Washington with Super Bowl rings on their fingers. Both were part of those Kansas City Chiefs dynasties that ran the league. Wiley's got crazy positional flexibility. He's played both guard spots and right tackle in his career. Allegretti can play guard and center. And last year he stepped up big when Tyler Biadasz was banged up. But here's the reality. Commanders fans, Wiley got replaced by Josh Conerly Jr., our first-round pick out of Oregon in the 2025 draft. Allegretti started last season at left guard. But this year we moved him to the right side to make room for Brandon Coleman. After we brought in Laramie Tunsil in the offseason. And now, with Sam Cosmi back from his knee injury, both Wiley and Allegretti are in backup roles. They're playoff-tested vets, versatile, smart, exactly the kind of guys contending teams want before the November 4th deadline. Add for clock. And you know what? I think this is the right move. Look, I know it hurts. I know these guys have been pros since day one. But we're 3-6, our quarterback's hurt, and we've got to think long-term. Peters isn't waving the white flag, he being smart. Each of these players could probably net us a day 3 pick in the 2026 draft. And considering we already traded our 2nd and 4th rounders to the Texans for Tunsil, we need to stockpile draft capital. Right now, we've got 6 picks in 2026, including 2 in the 6th round. That's not enough if we want to rebuild this O-line and patch up the defense. But here's where it gets interesting. Schultz's report doesn't say we're only looking for draft picks. Could be player for player. And that opens up a whole world of possibilities. What if Peters is trying to bring in help at other positions to keep this season alive? Because let me ask you this. Do you really think Adam Peters, the guy who brought us Jaden Daniels, who built that explosive offense last year, is just gonna sit back and watch this season go down the drain? I'm telling you, no way. Peters is a competitor. He comes from that San Francisco mindset where mediocrity isn't accepted. And if there's any way to keep this season alive, he's gonna find it. Look at what the Eagles did last year when they hit a rough patch. They brought in players, made moves, and ended up in the playoffs. The Cowboys, yeah. I hate them too, but they're always active at the deadline when they think they've got a shot. Even the Giants, as much of a mess as they are, made moves last year trying to salvage their season. And us, we've got 8 games left. 8 games in the NFL, that's a lifetime. If Jaden can come back in 4 or 5 weeks and we make the right moves now, we've still got a shot at a wild card. But do you think Peters is done? Think Wiley and Allegretti are the only names on the table. I guarantee there are more happening behind closed doors. And some of those talks probably involve the most important position on the field. But that's nothing compared to what's next. Because if you thought we were just gonna ride with Marcus Mariota while Jaden's out, you're out of your mind. Multiple reports say the Commanders are actively exploring the quarterback market. And the 2 names heating up, Kirk Cousins and Jimmy Garoppolo. And let me tell you, Commanders fans, this is where things get real interesting. Let's start with Kirk Cousins. Remember him? Of course you do. He was our quarterback. Drafted in 2012, spent 6 seasons here, 3 as the starter. He knows this organization, knows this city, knows the DMV. And now he's riding the bench in Atlanta while Michael Penix Jr. runs the show. The Falcons are clearly moving on. Cousins threw 18 touchdowns and 16 picks in 14 starts in 2024. Not amazing, but not terrible either. And here's what no one's talking about. In his last full season with the Vikings in 2023, before he got hurt, Cousins threw 18 touchdowns in just 8 games. You know what that means? It means when he's healthy and in the right system, Kirk Cousins can still ball. And I ask you this, wouldn't it be poetic if he came back to Washington right when we need him most? Picture it. Kirk Cousins, back in Burgundy and Gold, leading this offense for 8 games while Jaden heals up. He knows the pressure of playing in this city. He knows what it means to be the Commanders' quarterback. And more importantly, he's got the confidence to handle whatever comes his way. I think this could work. Look, I know Kirk's not perfect. I know he had his ups and downs here. But we're talking about a veteran with experience, with football IQ, who can come in and be effective right away. We don't need him to be Patrick Mahomes. We just need him to be solid. Now, the other option is Jimmy Garoppolo. The Rams signed him to a 1-year, $3 million deal to back up Matthew Stafford. But with Stetson Bennett also on the roster, the Rams might be willing to let him go. And here's the case for Jimmy G. The guy's got a career record of 43 and 21 as a starter. 43 and 21. That's not a scrub. That's a dude who knows how to win in this league. Yeah. His 2024 season with the Raiders was forgettable. But put him in a system with weapons, with protection, with a coaching staff that knows how to use him, and Jimmy Garoppolo can get it done. He took the Niners to a Super Bowl. He's played in the playoffs multiple times. He knows what it takes to win, but is he really a big upgrade over Marcus Mariota? That's the question Peters has to answer. Mariota's skill set is closer to Jaden's. He can run, extend plays, make things happen off script. Garoppolo's more of a traditional pocket passer, but he's been more consistent as a starter. And here's what's really got me thinking. What if Peters isn't just looking for a short-term fix, but a way to protect Jaden's long-term development? Think about it. If we bring in a vet like Cousins or Garoppolo, Jaden doesn't have to rush back. He can take the time to fully heal, rehab that elbow the right way, come back 100%. We don't have to risk his future just to save a season that's already on the ropes. But at the same time, if that vet can keep us competitive, win 3 or 4 of these last 8 games, suddenly, we're not dead in the water. Suddenly, when Jaden returns, we're still in the playoff hunt. And you know what's the craziest part? We've got to make this decision in the next 24 hours. The deadline is tomorrow at 4 p.m. No time to hesitate. No time to second guess. Peters has to act now or ride with what we've got. Look at what the Cowboys did when Dak went down. They were aggressive, made moves, did what they had to do. The Eagles are always active at the deadline. The Giants, even though they're a mess, at least try to make moves. And us, after years of being the laughingstock of the division, after finally having a front office that looks like it knows what it's doing, are we just gonna sit still? I'm telling you, nitrogen monoxide way, Adam Peters isn't that kind of GM. He's gonna make something happen, and soon. So let's recap what we just covered. Quinn taking full responsibility. Peters shopping veterans. A desperate search for a quarterback. 3 stories that are shaping the future of this franchise in real time. And you know what I guarantee? By this time tomorrow, we'll have even more breaking news. Because the deadline isn't the end, it's just the beginning. Peters is gonna make moves. Quinn's gonna face tough questions. And we, the fans, are gonna have to decide if we still believe in this team. So here's my question to you. Should we bring Kirk Cousins back? Or is it better to roll with Mariota and protect our draft future? And should Dan Quinn face real consequences for what happened with Jaden, or is owning it enough? Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you believe Peters should go all in at the deadline, hit that like button. If you think we should tank for better picks, subscribe so you don't miss a single update. Because I promise you this will be here covering every move, every decision, every headline that drops about this team. This is our family, this is our community. And we're not jumping ship no matter how rough the waters get. And remember, hail to the Redskins.